Season 38, War number 4, and we are up against D69. Today my team will be Tigra, Kitty, and Omega Sentinel. This war video is gonna be a little bit different because I'm doing it uncut. I'm taking Path 5 in Section 1, as well as the Tigra, Path 5 in Section 2, as well as that Mordo and Man thing, and then all the right side mini bosses. I'm taking every single one of my fights in one go, so this is gonna be an uncut war video. You're gonna see me put on my boosts, change my masteries, and all that. I'm putting on my 6-hour boosts, and I'm using those instead of the normal ones, because I didn't wanna run the risk of them running out in the middle of my fighting. And they are pretty cheap as well, so I got them with units. The first fight here is a Nick Fury on the Ebb and Flow knockdown and heavy hitter nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Kitty Pryde. I have my recoil masteries on for this, and I believe the next 2 fights as well. And well, the plan here against Nick Fury is the same as always. I'm not gonna be using any specials unless it's to finish him off. I'm gonna be taking him down slowly but surely with basic attacks. I will knock him down with heavy attacks whenever I can to remove that protection to make the fight go faster. I do that by either parrying, or in some cases I do the face heavy attack in the corner. I technically could use my special attacks here to speed up the fight a lot more, but in Nick Fury's second life he is stun immune and this node has the heavy hitter node, so the only way to build up my prowess again would be to land intercepts or punish his special attacks without relying on my phasing. So I'd rather take the fight slower but safer than trying to speed through it and run the unnecessary risk of losing an attack bonus. Nick Fury is getting very close to his second life here, and I would like to remove that protection, but I can't really land a parry here because of the disorient and him going unblockable. And I can't use the face heavy attack in the corner either, as long as he has above 5 tactical charges. Because, well, then he can't miss and he would only combo me while I'm facing. Now that he did enter his second life, he consumed all of those tactical charges, which then allowed me to use the heavy attack in the corner while facing. That sped up the second life quite a bit here, which was nice, but even if I couldn't do that, the fight would not have been all that different. It just would have taken a bit longer to get him down. But in the end, the only difference would have been, well, I probably would have finished with more HP, that's about it. And yeah, Kitty Pryde is just one of the, if not the best, options for Nick Fury on pretty much any node. Now we have a Tigra on the Ebb and Flow knockdown and right back added nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Kitty Pryde. The game plan here is to nuke her down with a single special 2, and while I'm building up my prowess and my power, I would rather have Tigra use a special once, but she doesn't want to do that here. So instead I push her to her special 2 and bait that. I am very comfortable dexing it, but if you're not, then I would suggest trying to avoid it like the plague, because if that catches you, you're more than likely gonna die. It hits very hard, especially if Tigra has that primal sense active. This fight, however, went pretty much perfect. I have had a few close calls against Tigras before, so I was very happy with how that went. Next up we have a Mordo on the Power Snack and 1 too many hits nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Omega Sentinel, starting with the heal block debuff mode active. Now, I was debating whether or not I wanted to use Kitty Pryde or Omega Sentinel here, and I decided to go with Omega Sentinel, just because she is immune to Nullify, so Power Snack doesn't do anything. I am using an invulnerability boost here, just in case Mordo gets that special 3, because Omega Sentinel doesn't have anything to deal with the power gain. Usually Mordo wouldn't get there, especially since, again, the power snack won't be triggering, but it is there just in case. Even without it, Omega Sentinel would more than likely survive a special 3 or 2 from Mordo, because it's not very strong, but again, it's better to be safe than sorry. On the other hand, Pryde is also a great choice for this node. You can take it the exact same way that I used to take those Mixmaster Mordos. Just get to 10 prowess and then do medium light combos for the rest of the fight. That strategy works very well against Mordos on basically any node, but I would still suggest using an invulnerability boost, especially on a node like Power Snack. Mordo did end up getting to use his special 3 in this fight, so that invulnerability boost was not wasted. And one thing that Omega Sentinel has over Pryde for this fight is that heal block. Mordo's special 3 can trigger pretty potent regeneration buffs on him, which Omega Sentinel completely shuts down with that heal block. Pryde wouldn't be able to do that. Now here is my first mastery change of this war. I am removing my recoil masteries for a couple Tigra fights that I have coming up. I will have a few excess points here and I'm not placing them anywhere, because once I'm done with the Tigra fights, I'm simply gonna put those points back to the recoil masteries to finish out my other fights. I'm putting on the Mystic power boosts here just because I have them, and they do help. They aren't necessary, but it's better than not having them. For the first Tigra fight we have a Nova on the Ebb and Flow intercept node, and the game plan is pretty simple. I'm just gonna be punishing his heavy attacks and specials with my heavy to build up Raptures and to gain more power. Then I'm gonna be using my big special to use to nuke him down. I won't be worrying about the protection. If I do remove it at some point, that is great. If I don't, it's fine too. Tigra does more than enough damage to take the fight down multiple times in the span of 5 minutes, even with the protection up for the whole fight. Now by this point I had already messed this fight up multiple times. I got clipped earlier, and there I got parried and ate a full special one from him. Luckily I still had the invulnerability boost active from the previous fight, so I got saved from the majority of the damage. It still hurt and will cost a potion, but that's better than almost dropping dead. One special 2 with the protection down was enough to take him down, even with the 70% reduced damage on unblockable hits. Next up we have a Killmonger on the Ebb and Flow intercept and mighty charge nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde. Now normally I would use the recoil masteries for kitty fights, but the next fight after this is another Tigra fight, and I really didn't want to change my masteries back to recoil for this one, then removing recoil for the next one, and then putting them back on for the fights after that. That just sounds like a big waste of units, so I decided to do this fight without recoil. Now, since I do not have the recoil masteries on, I will not be using my special 2 to nuke this fight down. I'm just gonna keep my prowess, take him down with basic attacks, and once he's low enough, I'm gonna drop my special 3, which will hopefully take him down. Kitty's phasing allows me to land those intercepts without any risk, and it also allows me to completely bypass the reverberation damage, and the unblockable from the Tigra synergy allows me to keep going for medium light combos even while Killmonger has those counter punch charges active without having to worry about the unstoppable counter. That being said, Pryde is basically a perfect counter for this fight, and now that he's low enough, I went for my special 3. Unfortunately it did not finish Killmonger off, but a couple hits into my face was all it needed, and that's a kitty fight down without recoil masteries in a little over a minute. That is still pretty fast considering I didn't use my special 2s. Next up we have the second and last Tigra fight of this war, a Man-Thing on the Ebb and Flow intercept and mighty charge nodes, and the game plan here is pretty simple. I'm gonna be pushing Man-Thing to his special once, and then punishing them with my heavy attack to build up my ruptures, and then I'm gonna nuke him down with big special 2s. A simple plan, but I messed it up, and I got fully comboed here. I dropped my special 2 for some reason. I probably panicked. I didn't have any ruptures for it, so it didn't do much, and he blocked a part of it as well. So, not a great start. Then I of course mess up the spacing for a special one there, and everything just isn't going well. The reason why I use Tigra here instead of Omega Sentinel or Kitty Pryde is because Neutralize prevents Man-Thing from triggering those buffs on you with his specials. And if he can't trigger those buffs on you, he can't nullify them either, which then means that you won't be poisoned and you don't have to worry about Mystic Dispersion. A horrible start, but now Man-Thing is cornered. I'm punishing his special ones properly, and I'm getting those big special 2s off, so this fight should be under control now. Tigra's damage here is lowered by a few things. Number one being that protection. Whenever it's up, it reduces your damage by, I believe, 60%. And the other, well, whenever Man-Thing dashes at you, Mighty Charge removes all of those rupture debuffs, and the damage on Tigra Special 2 is based on how many ruptures or damaging debuffs in general the opponent has. So him removing those does hurt Tigra a bit. Now I'm just putting the Recon Masteries back on with the points that I had left over, because the next few fights are gonna be with Omega Sentinel as well as Kitty Pryde, both of which only benefit from the Recon Masteries. Next up we have everyone's favorite King Groot on the Safeguard miniboss node, and as always I'm taking this fight with Omega Sentinel, starting with the heal block debuff mode active. Now, to avoid repeating myself too much, I'm just gonna be very quickly explaining what I'm doing. The plan is get the special 3 during the regen phase, double medium to inflict heal block, throw special 3 for incinerate, then for the rest of the fight keep doing normal combos, finishing with a light attack to force the debuffs and let the incinerate do the work. That is the fight. Now I'm gonna speed through the rest of it, and I'll catch you on the next fight. There he goes, finally he's down. Yeah, I could have played that better, but still. A very simple fight. Next up we have a Weapon X on the Stunning Reflection miniboss node, and I'm taking this fight with Omega Sentinel, starting with the heal block debuff mode active. This is a fight that I have never taken with Omega Sentinel, but I have taken this with Tigra. But I figured Omega Sentinel would be the safer option out of the two, so I went with that. The game plan here is to just use Omega Sentinel's basic attacks to take him down. The heal block shuts down his regeneration, So all you need to worry about is his rage mode, because he will be extremely aggressive and fully unblockable. I did use an invulnerability boost before entering this fight, just in case, because he does hit pretty hard while unblockable. Now he will also inflict bleed debuffs if he hits you, so normally that would be a problem, but since Omega Sentinel doesn't take any bleed damage and it will only trigger her regeneration, that's not really a risk either. 40 seconds have passed and Weapon X is not doing so great. Omega Sentinel just hits so damn hard with her basic attacks. Well, she does have the highest base attack in the entire game, so it makes sense. Still though, it is kinda silly. I would say Omega Sentinel is probably one of the best options there, although Tigra does look better doing it. I'm switching on my mutant power boosts here for my last fight, which isn't really necessary since I'm not gonna be using specials here, but I used it anyways, just to be safe. My last fight is gonna be this Rintrah on the Brute Force mini-boss node, and I'm using Pryde. And we have all seen this fight before. The only difference this time is that I'm not gonna be using the White Magneto pre-fight here. Since I did these fights in one go, I didn't have anyone move with me, and I did say that I am very comfortable with this fight. I've taken it so many times that I can do it just fine without it. And like I've said in a previous video, the pre-fight only really helps at the very start of the fight. As soon as you get enough prowess to start facing, it's basically the same as not having the pre-fight. But yeah, even if I'm very comfortable with this fight, the AI here was at times very annoying. I ended up taking a ton of damage from Brute Force. A little bit too much, I'd say. I was a bit worried while doing this fight that I might actually drop dead from it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna speed up the rest of the fight since there really isn't anything else to explain. I'm doing the normal strategy that I normally do, just baiting his special ones, punishing them with my heavy attack to knock him down, which then removes his charges, which then means that he doesn't really do anything. So yeah, I'm just gonna speed up the rest of it. And now he's low enough for the special 3 to take him down. Kinda sketchy, since I did take a lot of damage from Brute Force, but in the end it was the same old Rintrah fight. Remember at the start of the fight when I said that this would be an uncut war? Well, I lied. I had to make a cut here to include the result screen, and we did end up winning the war 26-1. We played extremely well, and our opponents didn't really try. But even then, a single death in the whole war, we played very, very well. I'm very happy with that.